Pulsechain, PulseX and Hex. 3 projects, 1 founder and ginormous hype. But why is all that? First off, Hex launched on the Ethereum network on December 2nd, 2019, and it is an ERC20 token designed to replace the certificate of deposit and be a store of value. If you've been in the crypto space for a while, you probably know what is Ethereum and how expensive Ethereum gas prices are. The transaction fees to send, stake and unstake Hex and other ERC20s were incredibly expensive a few months ago, when the prices of Ethereum was around $4,000. The entire market was on the rise and the transaction costs on the Ethereum network were sometimes as much as $500 to end a Hex stake. It was also normal to pay $50 to send it to a different address. Then the Hex founder Richard Hart thought to himself, let me make a better version of Ethereum. And this is where all begins for Pulsechain and PulseX. So in this video I'll explain what is Pulsechain and PulseX, what was the sacrificing phase, what makes Pulsechain better than Ethereum, how high the price of PulseX can go, which is the biggest problem that Pulsechain might solve and cause a mass adoption, and what are the chances that this might turn out to be a scam and lose all your money. I've spent a good few days for this video to do a proper research and find any information possible through interviews, articles, tweets and so on, and basically separate the official information from the pure speculations, and make the most informative video about Pulsechain and PulseX possible. You won't regret watching it till the end. But now let's get into it. Pulsechain is a new blockchain-based cryptocurrency ecosystem that claims to offer significant enhancements over Ethereum. And moreover, the launch of the platform is claimed to be the largest airdrop in the history of blockchain. Pulsechain is an Ethereum hard fork with a snapshot of the entire Ethereum blockchain, converted into a proof-of-stake blockchain with faster transaction times and lower fees. Apart from being slow and expensive, Ethereum's ETH token has no maximum supply cap, which creates the risk of inflation for holders. Pulsechain's official token is PLS and is designed as a deflationary asset, eliminating PLS inflation risk with a token burn mechanism. Furthermore, validators will only earn fees and 25% of the fees will be burned to reduce circulating supply. Pulsechain has also stated that also wants to decrease the burden on the Ethereum network and has no intention to kill or directly compete with it. Pulsechain is a complete fork of the Ethereum network, meaning every coin, wallet or NFT that ever existed on Ethereum will be copied and available on Pulsechain on a one-to-one basis. If you own 100 Shiba tokens on Ethereum, you will receive 100 Shiba tokens on Pulsechain when it launches. If you have 1000 Link tokens on the Ethereum network, you will receive 1000 Link on the Pulsechain network. We don't know as of now if they are going to have the same name, but most probably there will be P added in front, P-Link for example, indicating that this is Link on the Pulsechain network. What is important to know is that they will not have the same USD value. Chainlink and the rest of the ERC20s on the Pulse network will have their own price that will be determined by the market. So simply said, you will receive a copy of all Ethereum network tokens on the Pulsechain network when it launches, but these copies will have 0 USD value. When people start trading them, they will determine the price of each token. So you will have a free airdrop of as many tokens you currently have on the Ethereum network, and only the market will decide how much your airdrop will be worth. In order to be eligible for the airdrop, your tokens and NFTs must be on a crypto wallet like MetaMask and not on an exchange or a marketplace. Pulsechain could be described as a Binance Smart Chain style blockchain, giving users full compatibility with Ethereum plus the snapshot of the Ethereum blockchain. Binance Smart Chain and Polygon are not forks of the Ethereum blockchain but forks of the source code. Pulsechain is a direct copy and in this way is more like Bitcoin Cash. The total supply of PLS will be 10,000 times more tokens than ETH because people rather have one whole than a part of a whole. When you put $100 into Ethereum, you get 0.03 ETH, and when you put $100 in Hex, you get almost 900 Hex, even when the value is $100 in both cases. If Pulse were to have the same market cap as Ethereum, this means that the price per Pulse will not be $2,600, but only 26 cents. The main differences between the Ethereum and Pulsechain networks are speed, cost, deflation, and efficiency of the network. Pulsechain replaces a proof-of-work model with a delegated proof-of-stake protocol, removing the need for the expensive computing power of proof-of-work while maintaining a high level of security. It also replaces miners with validators to secure the network. Pulsechain's delegated proof-of-stake algorithm will provide 4 times faster block generation times than Ethereum. It will take only 3 seconds on average, compared to Ethereum's average block time of around 13 seconds. The transaction fees will be significantly cheaper. The founder of Pulsechain, Richard Hart, always says that the idea behind the project is to actually be an Ethereum helper rather than a killer. His theory is that Pulsechain will take a proportion of users away from Ethereum and help lower congestion on the chain. So if 10% of NFT minters moved over to Pulse because of the lower fees and greener electricity consumption profile that would lower the load that Ethereum has to bear and therefore the gas costs. The upcoming update to Ethereum 2.0 aims to fix the issues with high gas fees and slow block generation times, but the first phase of the transition to Ethereum 2.0 began on December 1st, 2020, and there are still 2 phases to go. The date of the official release has been changed a few times, and this raises concerns about their latest announcement that the update will take place later this year. Pulsechain doesn't exist yet, so you can't buy it on the open market as of now. The so-called sacrifice phase took place on July 15, 2021 and lasted for 19 days. I won't go into extreme details about this phase because you can't take advantage of it as of now, but I will touch on the basics just to have an idea of this project's innovation. During this phase, you could sacrifice all kinds of different ERC20 tokens to receive sacrifice points. The amount of sacrifice points you receive will be 1-to-1 ratio to the amount of Pulse tokens you will get when the Pulsechain network goes live. The sacrificing phase is over now, and $670 million worth of ETH and a number of ERC20s have already been sacrificed. This chart shows how much 10,000 sacrifice points will cost over the course of 19 days. The first 5 days had the best rate. For $1 you get 10,000 sacrifice points, and if you sacrifice $100 on days 1 to 5, you will receive at least 1 million sacrifice points. When you offer $100 on the last day, you will receive at least 505,050 sacrifice points, so almost half less. And I say at least because there is a bonus for the amount of USD you sacrifice. The more USD you sacrifice compared to the others, the higher the bonus. The address that offers the most in USD value gets the biggest bonus of 2.5x their number of sacrifice points. The address that offers the least gets 1.0x, or basically no bonus. Everyone in between gets a bonus between 1.0x and 2.5x. The goal of sacrificing is to get as high in the rankings as possible, and this depends on the amount of USD your crypto is worth at the time you offer it. There are many different cryptos that you could sacrifice, and basically this is the full list. It is also important that you sacrifice from one address, because the bonus is calculated per address. You can sacrifice as many times as you want, but if you did so from multiple addresses, your bonus will be less. Even if you miss the sacrificing phase, you are still eligible to receive a 1-to-1 copy of all your ERC20 tokens on the Pulsechain network, which will be PRC20, as long as they are on a crypto wallet like MetaMask and not in an exchange. They will have no value, and only the market will decide what the price is going to be. One unique feature added during the sacrifice period has been to allow investors to sacrifice their stake to charity rather than to Pulsechain directly, still receiving a portion of PLS for the stake. The team raised $25 million for Sense medical research in just 6 days, and sacrifices to Sense during the sacrifice phase earned 25% lower points compared to sacrifices at Pulse.info. I think I covered pretty much everything about Pulsechain. And before we see what is PulseX, comment down below if you still have any questions, and I'll do my best to answer them all. But now let's find out what is actually PulseX. Simply said, PulseX stands for Pulsechain Exchange. It is a Uniswap fork, and its token is called PLSX. PLS is the native token of Pulsechain, which is the blockchain, the same way the native token of Ethereum blockchain is ETH, and PLSX is the token for PulseX, which is the decentralized exchange built on the Pulsechain network. So PulseX will be the most liquid AMM on Pulsechain. AMM stands for Automated Market Makers, and they allow digital assets to be traded automatically by using a smart contract and liquidity pools, instead of a traditional market of buyers and sellers. So basically, when you go on a centralized exchange and you want to buy a token for a specific price, there should be a person on the other side that wants to sell it for the same price. With AMMs, people put their tokens on a liquidity pool via smart contract, so when you want to buy the token, the liquidity is always there. As I said, PulseX is a decentralized exchange and enables users to exchange PRC20s on Pulsechain, functioning similar to PancakeSwap or Uniswap on Ethereum. PRC20s function just like ERC20s, except they reside on the Pulsechain. Rewards are given to liquidity pool providers from fees charged for performing exchanges. To provide liquidity to a DEX, you need to deposit two different cryptocurrencies called a liquidity pair. Every time people swap between both of them, you get a small fee as a reward. With Pulsechain's free airdrop of all ERC20s as PRC20s, holders can put them both into PulseX liquidity pool to earn yield. PulseX is the first DEX ever in crypto history where people got half of their liquidity positions for free. PulseX will have a 0.29% fee that users pay on every swap. and 76% of 0.29 is 0.22%, 21% of 0.29 is 0.06%, and that could be used to buy and burn PLSX, reducing its supply over time. 0.01% of a trader's volume goes to an anonymous address that most likely would be Richard Hart's wallet. The token hasn't been launched yet, and there was a sacrificing phase as well. That was acting like a pre-sale event. If you missed it but you wanna buy this token, you have to wait for the token's launch and buy it on the open marketplace. But if you participated in the sacrificing phase, when the Pulsechain's mainnet goes live, you'll get airdrop PLSX. The same way the ERC20 tokens that you will receive on the new Pulsechain network as the ERC20 tokens will have no value, the same way PLSX will be worth nothing. You won't have to pay any taxes on that airdrop because the value will be zero, and even though price discovery will happen very fast after the airdrop, nobody knows what the price of PLSX after the first trade will be. When the Uniswap came out, it was a game changer for swapping tokens on Ethereum. The only problem is that the Ethereum gas fees keep rising, and basically this is how the idea of Pulsechain was born. But the question then becomes, what are the current decentralized exchanges going to do? If they don't create a front end for Pulsechain and become great on Pulsechain as they are on Ethereum, that will be an issue. So instead of waiting around to see what the existing MMAs are going to do, Richard Hart decided to create his own DEX called PulseX. For liquidity aggregation, the PulseX bot harvests all copies of ERC20s on the Pulsechain from all major liquidity providers such as Uniswap and adds them to the liquidity of PulseX. With this, PulseX will have the largest liquidity of all exchanges on the Pulsechain. There will be no inflation due to the buy and burn mechanism, which means there will never be more PLSX than on day one, and the total supply will be 170 trillion PLSX. As you can see, the most amount sacrificed is from the Hex token, which represents more than 50% of the total amount sacrificed. The next one is Ethereum with almost $250 million sacrificed, then USDC with more than $100 million sacrificed, and so on. To further encourage PulseX success, another token will be created to further incentivize liquidity providers beyond the fees already been made. When they become liquidity providers, they will receive LP tokens that they can deposit into a yield farm. This token will be called XPLSX, and it will be deflationary in nature, and a decentralized autonomous organization will choose which trading pairs receive this incentive and at what rates. Only addresses with PLSX balances will be allowed to vote within the DAO. I can definitely see very high upside potential, but in order for our expectations to be as realistic as possible, it's good to have a look at similar projects and how they have performed. PulseX is a DEX just like Uniswap, SushiSwap and PancakeSwap, and even though they all have a lot of differences, they can be our closest competitors. So if I go on CoinMarketCap and check the all-time price of Uniswap, we can see that on November 4th, 2020, the price of the token was about $1.93. Exactly half a year later, it reaches its all-time high of $43.16. You'd be sitting on more than 22x increase in value. If you invested in PancakeSwap at the same time, you could buy it for 28 cents and sell it for $42.59. That would represent a 152x gain. And I will give you one more example with SushiSwap, where you could buy it for 48 cents on the same date and sell it for $22.91. That would be nearly 48x gain. DEXs generally reward liquidity providers with fees and native tokens. In this case of Cake and Sushi, the reward tokens are inflationary, meaning that their supply continually increase. PLSX never inflates, and the supply of PLSX will actually decrease over time. When supply stays the same or goes down, the price of the asset is primed to increase if we assume stable or increased demand. This gives PLSX an edge over the current DEXs, and I won't be surprised if outperforms them. In SushiSwap, the protocol takes 0.3% fee on every trade. 0.25% of this is given to liquidity providers to reward them, but the remaining 0.05% is used to buy up sushi tokens on the market, contributing to token demand. Those sushi tokens are then distributed to existing sushi holders who could sell or hold them. PulseX is different. Not only it is going to buy up PLSX tokens in the same way that SushiSwap does, but also it is going to burn them. The protocol will not only add demand to the native token, but will also reduce supply. Of course, there are many other factors we need to consider too, like market sentiment, whether people are investing in this project for the long run or the majority of them just want to make quick gains. But that would be pure speculation because no one really knows what is going to happen. I think it's time to see whether this project could turn out to be a scam. I want to quickly share with you the most bullish feature this blockchain has in my opinion, because it's so unique and actually solves a big issue. A key factor that will underline the future success of Pulsechain, and most interesting to me, will be its ability to take decentralized applications currently suffering from fees on Ethereum and revive them. Blockchain games and DeFi applications running on Ethereum have traditionally generally suffered due to high gas fees, hence the explosion of activity on alternative chains like Binance Smart Chain and Polygon. Due to the fact that Pulsechain will have a copy of Ethereum assets and smart contracts, Dapps developers could simply try and relaunch on Pulsechain. For example, a blockchain game running on Ethereum that has lost its user base due to high gas fees could relaunch very easily on Pulsechain, offering its users faster and cheaper actions that could effectively revive the Dapps and its activity. The same story is true for DeFi exchanges such as Uniswap. Axie Infinity left Ethereum blockchain and moved to the custom-built Ronin sidechain, causing the token's price to go through the roof. On this alternative chain, they could offer users reduced fees and faster transactions, generating all-time high usage. But up until now, I talked about the best case scenario, and none of this can happen if Richard Hart doesn't meet his promises. In fact, we don't even have a white paper for Pulsechain and PulseX, which is very concerning, and making the research for this video was not an easy task. There are many things that are raising suspicion, and we'll have a look at some of them now. Of course, I have to start with the sacrificing phase, as it raises so many questions. People have questioned what the sacrifice wallet was for, and suspect it is just a personal wallet of the founder Richard Hart. At the time of the fork, there will be no value to the PLS and PLSX tokens, so users are sacrificing a known value for valueless tokens. And so far, any investor who participated in the sacrificing phase and sacrificed their valuable tokens, they received nothing but unspecified sacrifice points, as the blockchain has yet to be launched. It's been almost a year since the first sacrificing phase, and I can't see the Pulsechain mainnet going live anytime soon.
In which month will mainnet start? When it's ready, bro.
Also, it is an interesting decision the naming of this pre-launch phase as a sacrifice. I don't know how that makes you feel, but I definitely don't feel great naming it this way. A relatively shady disclaimer concerning this sacrifice period is presented by Pulsechain on its official website. This disclaimer is set forth below, and it's up to you to determine the weight you wish to place upon it. Some of the things that caught my attention were: you are sacrificing to prove how strong you believe that blockchains are speech, and speech is a protected human right. You must have no expectations of profit from the work of others. These sacrifice points are not meant to have any monetary value. Remember, you are not buying anything. The world is just noticing you are amongst a group of people that sacrifice to make a political statement. The only thing we know of said to be airdropped for free to this political group so far is Pulsechain. Well, it just sounds strange and suspicious to me, and I feel like this because nothing is straightforward. As I said already, neither Pulsechain nor PulseX has an official white paper, so you can have all the details from the official source in one place. Details on the new fork chain do seems to be sparse, and the ones that are out there seem to be created by the community, as many of the hexicans are driving the Pulsechain community sites. Many of the community sites don't seem to have much more details than the heavy marketing that is shown on the Pulse site. The Pulsechain and PulseX's launches seem to be mirroring Hex's launch, as there was a similar donation event at the beginning of the Hex initial coin offering, where users could donate ETH to a wallet and receive Hex tokens. There was the same suspicion that this wallet is Richard Hart's, and he was able to keep the ETH and exchange a valueless newly minted token. The origin address was drained of all the ETH months later, and additionally, there were charges that Richard was taking ETH from the origin wallet and sending it back through the donation process. This would result in him minting Hex for himself and having the ETH land right back in his wallet. If you take 100 ETH from the donation wallet and send it back to a secondary wallet to donate it again, the end result is your secondary wallet getting airdropped Hex while you still have all the ETH in the donation wallet. Despite all the questions raised, Hex has made a lot of people big money, and the coin is up tremendously since its launch. But it's safe to say it has withstood the test of time and come out looking like a rather good project. On the other hand, Pulsechain and PulseX could gain traction and become a successful sidechain, and there are alternative chains right now that have massive market caps despite not even working, and ghost chains out there with a value despite being abandoned. If Pulsechain can find support, this hard fork could create value for a lot of people. There seem to be a lot of questions that remain, and one of them is where the large amounts of money being sacrificed are going and why they are needed. There are still too many what ifs hanging over Pulsechain and PulseX for a final call to be made where the pros outweigh the cons. But I made this video only for educational purposes anyway, and not to hype the project or make the viewers think that this might be a scam. That's why I started by explaining Pulsechain and PulseX completely, then which are their benefits and drawbacks, because there are certainly factors presented that outweigh to both sides of this debate. Nothing in this video is financial financial advice, and I'm just here sharing with you the information that I found and hopefully being helpful. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, and also if you have any information that I didn't mention in this video, I'll be happy if you share it with everyone. If you think that I did a good job explaining Pulsechain and PulseX, please give a gentle tap to the like button, it will be very much appreciated. And of course, you can subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos like this one on your YouTube feed. And with that being said, I'll see you in the next video.